Did you know that money behaves like a well-trained animal and only obeys those who know how to call it with the proper vibration? When you discover how to direct it, it doesn't just arrive, but multiplies in extraordinary ways. There are unseen powers that control how much money comes into your life and how much departs. And even laboring diligently, you may sense something obstructing this energy. In 1925, Florence Scovel Shinn, a revolutionary teacher of spiritual science, discovered something revolutionary. Money doesn't react to need but to authority. During the Great Depression, she taught ordinary women to command their money, and many expanded their income in the midst of the worst economic crisis in history. The first principle is the declaration of divine multiplication. Florence taught that money is a form of aware energy that operates by specific laws. Money reacts to the vibration of authority much more than to that of need. When you come to money as one who begs, you repel it. When you come to it as one who commands, you pull it. Money operates like a well-trained soldier. If the commander wavers, the soldier doesn't act, but when the order is precise and resolute, money flows. In New York, Florence taught her students to take greater authority. Each morning, positioned in front of the mirror, they would position themselves upright, inhale profoundly, and announce, "Divine money, I command you to multiply my life now. You stream toward me from all possible directions because I am an ideal vessel of infinite abundance." The key was in the energy behind command, which needed to resonate as an irrevocable decree. Another important aspect is healing the relationship with money. Florence said that money has emotional memory, and that our energy toward it makes impressions that determine whether it draws close or withdraws. If for years you've spoken of money through fear, resentment, or guilt, it's as if you repelled an expected guest. Most people have been calling money with a voice of lack and embarrassment. Before ordering your money, Florence taught harmonizing with it. In silence, her students would say, "Dear money, pardon me for having seen you as my enemy. Today I recognize that you are divine energy seeking to express itself through me. I honor you, esteem you, and welcome you into my life." This exercise was intense spiritual rewiring that totally shifted a person's vibration. Moving forward in this direction, Florence developed the energetic operation of poverty beliefs. Beliefs about money are like unseen anchors that dictate how much your prosperity can grow. You can labor intensely, but if the roots are diseased, the tree will never produce abundant fruit. No one is born with lack mentality. We inherit them from family conversations and childhood stories. Phrases like "money is dirty" or "to earn money you must suffer" lodge themselves in the mind as internal laws. The process commenced with silence, where Florence asked them to examine, "What belief about money have I adopted and still carry?" Once recognized, they would say, "This belief is not mine. I return it." My mind becomes clean and open to receive the divine truth about abundance. Then they would install new beliefs such as, "I am an inheritor of infinite abundance," or "money flows to me effortlessly." Furthermore, Florence taught the difference between desiring and demanding. Desires arises from lack. It's viewing what you want while feeling is far away. Demand is born from the knowledge that something already belongs to divine right. To desire is to say, "I don't have," producing more experiences of not having. To demand is to announce, "It's mine, and I receive it now," triggering invisible forces. In this context, another principle is to originate instead of competing. Florence insisted, "Never battle for money, create it." Competing indicates scarcity. Creating implies infinite abundance, knowing that you can generate new opportunities. When you compete, you focus on what others have. When you create, you connect with the infinite source with distinctive fresh concepts. Each person has a particular talent for producing wealth that when expressed not only generates income, but blesses others. Similarly, Florence taught the decree of total sovereignty. It was an act of total sovereignty, over one's own financial kingdom. The decree was, "By my divine authority as a child of the Creator of all abundance, I decree that my financial reality changes now. I command that all invisible forces work to multiply my money perpetually." The difference lies in knowing that the power to transform is already within you, and upon voicing it, the universe shifts to obey. On the other hand, Florence taught the spiritual plan of your abundance. The universe needs clear instructions. It was about specifying how much, how, when, and for what you would receive. Her students dedicated a daily moment to answer, how much money do I want? From what sources? How do I want to feel when receiving it? The more details, the easier for the universe to materialize. The design must be formulated from a consciousness of shared abundance. Bearing this in mind, the last step is to sustain prosperous consciousness. Igniting abundance is the first part. Mastery lies in sustaining it. Maintaining requires daily attention, upholding the internal state that summons it. This state is made of gratitude, certainty, and openness to receive. A key principle is to begin each day with anticipatory gratitude, not only for what you already have, but for the abundance coming. When you give thanks in advance, you give a universe a signal that you've already received. Another practice was to mentally honor all money seen circulating, blocking envy from polluting your vibration. It's worth noting that generous contributing was essential. It was about backing causes that expanded abundance in the world. Giving with joy was like planting in fertile ground. What you give comes back multiplied. The key element is to feel that you engage with the universal flow. What you withhold out of fear stagnates. What you give with love multiplies. Another key was to guard your mind, avoiding environments loaded with scarcity, because your consciousness is the attractor of your experience. Florence concluded with a powerful reminder. You are not a casualty of economic circumstances. You are the architect of your financial reality. Money is your servant and ally. Now reassert your commitment by saying, I decree that my prosperity expands perpetually in perfect harmony. I give with joy, receive with gratitude, and preserve the infinite flow of my wealth. If these words spoke to you, write in the comments, I decree, to confirm your commitment. Share this video with someone who needs to recognize they are the creator of their reality. Subscribe to the channel and enable the bell, because I will share more principles that can multiply your prosperity. Abundance doesn't come to those who hesitate, but to those who command.